All right, folks, are we about to see an ETH free pass round 2? Now, we got to break this one down for you guys, a full update. We're going to go through it quickly, though. We got a busy day ahead of us. We already dropped one video on the XLM ETF potentially coming next. And then in this video, we're going to talk about the Ethereum ETF and how we might be looking at some sort of quasi ETH free pass round 2. Let's get straight on into it. And remember that tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, legendary investor Rick Rule, we're going to be airing the full interview. Make sure you guys don't miss it. Let's get into it. We're starting off with Wrath of Kahneman. Ripple carrier Finastra is still putting it forward. The organizations listed are the same 5 that haunt most cross-border documents from July. Now, this is financial institutions standing on thin ice must pivot before it's too late. And they cite how the traditional legacy banking system finds it difficult to match increasing demand for scalability, speed, and transparency arising from consumers and businesses. And so they show here Visa Direct, MasterCard, Swift GPI, Thunes, and of course, Ripple. So making our way in, absolutely. Another one making their way into the Wall Street party, the spot Ethereum ETF party. We have the second one here filed by Franklin Templeton, $1.5 trillion asset manager. And the message in this morning's video is we noted how they filed for the spot Ethereum ETF, but then I talked about the potential for Franklin Templeton to also file for a XLM ETF because we know that they love Stellar. And it's only a matter of time. It's going to be a race. Is it going to be Grayscale? Is it going to be Franklin Templeton? Is it going to be, Wisdom Tree might be another one, right? Wisdom Tree, they've already launched some sort of assets on the Stellar blockchain as well, if I'm not mistaken. So you already have institutional players that are already putting products on the Stellar chain. Why wouldn't they do an XLM ETF as well? Sounds inevitable to me. But you got to take a little bit deeper look at this situation. What we have right now is the Ethereum free pass round 2 consideration to be made, as the SEC now has to have it come across their desk, right? The S1 filings for these spot Ethereum ETFs. Well, how do you provide proper disclosures when the SEC themselves won't even come out and say whether or not Ethereum's a security or not? Now, Digital Asset Investor asked the question to James Seyfert, right? I wonder if and how Franklin Templeton is protecting themselves from the potential lawsuits that could come from ETHgate if it affects the ETF price. Oh boy. And then I saw that Digital Asset Investor, he actually retweeted and responded to James Seyfert again in another tweet. And he shared the XRP Unleashed documentary that, it shows a little hint of regulatory capture 101. And they wrote a speech and they cashed it from Jimmy Valley. And of course, my little quick appearance in there as well, too. But nonetheless, this is how we apply pressure. This is how we ask the questions that matter. I've been asking the same things about the Bitcoin deal as well. You can't provide disclosures on where it came from, where it originated from. Is that, just not irrelevant? Is that not relevant to the investment? Maybe. Okay. I mean, it was good enough for the SEC to approve it. They approved 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs. And I'm not going to be surprised when they approve the Ethereum spot ETF because they don't want to get caught up in this mess. Now, once again, what we see right here, and we covered this last week, right, was Prometheum, the first regulated institution by the SEC and FINRA for custody of crypto asset securities is what they call them, the same term that the SEC and Gary Gensler wants to use. We saw the first product that they offered for their investors, Ethereum. The first crypto asset security that Prometheum is offering is Ethereum. That's right. Where did they get that clarity? Did they get a note in their pocket just like Joseph Lubin did as well? And so, of course, we have our good friend Stephen Arioff, the Ethereum whistleblower, directly over the target. With growing speculation around an Ethereum ETF, it's evident that the SEC led by Gary Gensler is more involved in ETH than it appears. Gensler's indirect approval for Prometheum is to designate ETH as a security, effectively endorses an ETF covertly. This decision shows that Gensler's actions are under heavy influence by the CCP, prompting questions about the consequences of alternative actions. For Gensler, Lubin, and Vitalik, the stakes go beyond investor interests. Their decisions have steered them onto an irreversible course. Folks, The Steven Narioff guy is not going away. You know, I was just listening to him on a Twitter space yesterday. He's not laying off. It's all gas, no brakes. And a lot of people are like, whatever happened? You know, why isn't anything happening? No, it's happening. Not only are we including his story in the documentary, it's also looking like, you know, we're going to be exposing the broader ETHgate story in that documentary, which is just part of the XRP story. Of course, we want to share how great the tech, how great XRP is, but you can't talk about XRP and Ripple without talking about the SEC lawsuit and without talking about ETHgate, which we've helped uncover. And it's not a matter of we want XRP to go up, we want Ethereum to go down. We want a level playing field in our country. We don't want to have regulatory capture by little snakes like Gary Gensler and his thugs that he's got at the SEC. Now, continuing on, Steven Narioff adds this one. Key figures within Ethereum are steering the crypto landscape towards centralized authority, aligning with Chinese interests. Their silence and efforts to classify ETH as a security challenge the welfare of global investors. Shout out to Bitcoinists for relentlessly exposing the facts. In unity with Boring Sleuth, we're dedicated to protecting the freedom of crypto. The time to take a stand is now or risk losing everything. And that's what it's about for me, right there. Now, you guys let me know in the comments down below. Do you think that they're going to approve the Ethereum spot ETFs, basically issuing a ETH free pass round 2? You know they don't want to address this. You know they don't want us digging into this. You know that they don't want us putting out a little XRP documentary that just so happens to include, you know, as part of the story, this little debacle. They don't want that. So are they just going to choose to try to bury this? Are they going to, you know, allow for a ETH free pass round 2 to go through? Or do you think that they're going to deny it? Let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for the interview with Rick Rule. Everything can be found on my website, ZachRector.com. God bless. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.